Hello, my name is Trent Theory, and welcome to another South Park episode review. Today I'm going to talk about Season 1, Episode 12, Mecha-Streisand. Now, Trey Parker and Matt Stone often claim that they don't hate the celebrities that they mock in South Park. Except when it comes to Barbra Streisand, like they really hate her. So this episode starts out with the boys on a field trip to an archaeology ranch, and like they have to dig for fossils, and then Cartman stumbles upon a triangle and he throws it away. And then Kyle picks it up and he decides to keep it, but then the archaeologist tells the boys that it's a really rare triangle and it's worth a lot of money. And then of course Cartman wants it back, and he goes to extreme lengths to try and get the triangle back off Kyle, including breaking into Kyle's house. And meanwhile, Barbra Streisand finds out about this triangle, and it turns out that it's the missing piece to a diamond, and when she gets her hands on the triangle, she can use it to take over the world. Leonard Moulton goes to the school to warn the chef about it to try and save the boys and the world. So then Leonard Moulton and the chef, they're driving around South Park trying to find out where Barbra Streisand is. And there's one really funny part where Leonard Moulton asks the chef if he was Barbra Streisand, where would he go? And he takes Leonard Moulton to Tom's Rhinoplasty, if you might remember from the previous episode. Tom's Rhinoplasty is a place where people go to get nose jobs. So then Barbra Streisand goes to South Park in her helicopter and she confronts the boys, and they refuse to give her a triangle, and Cartman is still pestering Kyle for the triangle and trying to get it back. Kyle just had enough, so he just decided to give Cartman back the triangle. And then Barbra Streisand comes back with a really poor disguise, just one of those cheap, like fake glasses with like the nose, one of those sort of disguises, and the boys don't recognize her, so she pretends to be someone else, and she says that the triangle's worth a lot of money to her, and she leads the boys into her car, and then she takes them to her secret lair and chains them up, and she tortures them with her singing. Like, no offense, but Barbra Streisand is a pretty horrible singer. She's an okay actor. I liked her in Meet the Fockers, and that I forget the name of that Seth Rogen movie that she was in a couple of years ago. That was pretty funny as well. The Guilt Trip, that's the name of the movie. That was a really funny movie. So Cartman had enough of Barbra Streisand's horrible singing, so like he gives in and gives Barbra the triangle, and then the diamond is complete and she turns into a robotic dinosaur and starts destroying the town. And there's this one really funny line with the news reporter where he talks about all the other times that the town was destroyed and they had to rebuild the entire town. Like he mentions in the previous episodes where the town was destroyed by zombies and Thanksgiving turkeys and Stan's clone, and it was really funny, that part. And then Barbra Streisand just comes in and just starts knocking buildings down, and he's like, "Oh, not again." That was really funny. And Kyle's mum, she just goes up to the giant Barbra Streisand robot and just asks for an autograph. That's fucking funny as fuck. So then the chef has to call Robert Smith, the lead singer of The Cure, and the actual Robert Smith came in and then did his voice for this episode. If you don't know who Robert Smith is, well, he's the lead singer of the band The Cure, and they were one of the biggest bands of the 80s and the 90s, and they had a lot of hits. You should definitely check out The Cure after you finish watching this video, because they were really great. So anyway, like Barbra Streisand, like she's destroying South Park, and this has a really funny Kenny death like, you're expecting Kenny to get killed by Barbra Streisand, like, you know, you're expecting a car to fall on him or a building to fall on him or just Barbra Streisand to, like, you know, step on him or something. But no. Kenny decides to play a game of tetherball, and then the rope he gets hit by the ball, and then the rope wraps around his throat, and it's really, really funny and unexpected. Like, you didn't expect him to die that way. That's what I felt really funny about that death. It's probably that is definitely my favorite Kenny death, like, in the entire series, because I just found it to be like, you're waiting for him to get killed by Barbra Streisand robot or something like that. But no, he gets killed off in a really mundane way, and it's just funny. So then, like, Leonard Maltin and Sidney Poitier come and, like, they transform into robots as well, and they fight Barbra Streisand and they fail. But then Robert Smith comes in and he transforms into, like, a robot, and he fights Barbra Streisand and he completely destroys her. Like, he throws her up in the air and she blows up. And then Robert Smith is, like, he's the hero, he saves the day. I almost forgot to mention Rochambeau. Rochambeau is a game that Cartman created. For example, I have to kick you in the nuts as hard as I can, and then you kick me in the nuts as hard as you can, and the first person that falls loses the game. Like, that's the entire game. And I've actually tried to play that game with my friends before, and I always win. So in conclusion, I really like this episode, and it's definitely gonna be another 5 out of 5. Robert Smith was great. Barbra Streisand was great. Now, this is just an overall great episode of South Park. Well, you can subscribe to this channel and like my page on Facebook for more South Park reviews. So until next time, my name's Trent Terry. Peace out.